what's weird, because the last time you were here, I went back to the dressing room to say goodbye to you. It was either before the show or after the show.
Yeah.
And we keep trying to hook up, and I'm like, are you in town? And you said, no, I have to go do get a lumpectomy.
I was getting a mammogram.
No, you said you
had... I was going to get a... Was I getting a...
Yeah, because I said, oh, I had one. I have had a lumpectomy, and I turned out fine. But so I said, oh, it's no big deal. I had a lumpectomy, and it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And then I hear in the news that it's cancer, and that
so... That was the 9th, and I think I went in... Wasn't it on the 9th? It was right around then, and I had a basic mammogram, my yearly. And as you guys probably know, most women our age start to make calcifications. And so in my mammogram, just had a couple of suspect patterns, and so they did a needle biopsy on both breasts. And the breast that they were kind of worried about was fine. It just had ductal carcinoma in situ, which is basically non-invasive cancer cells. And then everybody's shaking their head because they know this drill. And then the other breast, it turned out that I had invasive, and it was the day that my life just came to a screeching halt and kind of began this course of redefinition.
And how quickly after that do you go into getting, what'd you get, chemo, radiation?
I had radiation. What they do is they do a sentinel biopsy on the node under your arm. And that tells you whether you have it in your nodes, and then they determine what kind of treatment you're going to get. And for me, I was estrogen positive.
What does that
and there's
mean?
several different kinds of cancer.
What does estrogen positive mean?
Estrogen positive means that I react, like I can't have soy anymore. I react to estrogen, that is the kind of cancer that's shown up in my breast. You can also have lobular. Mine's ductal, which means in the milk duct. Lobular is outside of the milk duct. So there's a lot of things. I mean, what happens, as you guys know, is that once you get your diagnosis, you just become a rabid student, just trying to learn everything that you can so that you know how to arm yourself, and you start learning about nutrition and what you can eat now to prevent cancers, to prevent other diseases. And it's a life-changing experience for sure. But radiation, I had 7 weeks of it, and
what is the difference between radiation and chemo? I don't understand the...
They're both adjuvant, thank you, adjuvant, yes, treatments. Chemo basically goes into the blood system and kills all the bad cells as well as many of the good cells. And basically they're trying, it's an effort to get rid of the cancer that's spreading throughout your body. For me, it wasn't in my lymph system, so I had radiation, which also kills all of the bad cells, but it also kills the good cells in the breast. It's very succinct, but it's also more preventative. Mm-hmm. And it's your hope that it's not going to spread, that it's killing all of the cells that could possibly travel. But usually chemo, it's if you have had it in your lymph system, and that's probably the most radical treatment that they can give you. Mm-hmm. to try to stop the cancer from spreading.
And what do you, I mean, people here I know all this, but there are people at home who are, if they just found out, or what keeps you going when it must be the most painful, most devastating place to be in when you're, and what keeps you going?
Well, you know, it's funny because my story is that I'm 44, I'm relatively fit. In fact, I'm probably as fit as most people that I know that are 44, and so it was a shock to me because I thought I'm invincible, I'm the last person that should have cancer. And the reality of it is that the statistics for breast cancer now are off the charts, 1 in 7 women and growing. And I think like any other catastrophe in your life, whether it's you've been through Katrina, whether you've lost somebody in your family, whatever that epiphanal moment is.
If you break up with someone and then about a month later find out you have breast cancer, if it's
that's
a pretty bad time.
Yeah, could be something like that.
Yeah. However horrible it may be.
Whatever could take you to the bottom of the heap. You just get through it. You know, those are the moments where you meet yourself, and you really, for me, it dictated that I show up for myself. I stop taking care of everybody else around me and really show up for myself. There was nobody that could go through my treatment for me. I couldn't make everybody else feel okay about my cancer. I had to just hunker down and be in the emotion of it. And I think that most women, most even men who've had breast cancer, I've not met any, but there are men that have had it. But the
more
women,
and more now, right?
Yeah, more and more. Yeah. More and more. But the women that I've met say that it was always an expanding experience, an experience that created expansion in their life and redefined how they lived. And it's an amazing community now that I meet every day of women who have been through this amazing experience and have beat it or are going through it, and just the strength that they have derived from it.
You told me something that I brought it up in a meeting today, which I can't, believe not more people know about this. We were talking on the phone, and you said you learned everything from not leaving water bottles in the car. Most people travel and they leave their water bottles in the car. When they get thirsty, they drink it. But heated up water bottles.
Well, when I got diagnosed, one of the things that I did is I got hooked up with this wonderful nutritionist through my, Philomena McAndrew. My oncologist hooked me up with this nutritionist, and she came over and began working with me on prevention, on disease prevention. And it's all really, really easy stuff. And the things that we're learning now about what we put into our body that can prevent cancer, like turmeric, cumin, cinnamon, green vegetables, sea vegetables. If you're going to eat vegetables, eat the red one, like eat the colorful ones, the sweet potato instead of the regular potato.
So jicama is not good for you.
Jicama is probably falls into the pear category.
Just making sure.
Yeah. But one of the things that I learned about was eating organically, and also what plastics can do, because plastics emit, for me, something that can show up in your system as looking like estrogen, but also herbicides, pesticides. They emit a very carcinogenic material. Now, what we know about plastic is we don't know everything about plastic, and only microwave in dishes that say microwavable, or plastic that says microwavable. And with water bottles, I get asked all the time, well, what if it's been sitting in a hot warehouse? You do the best that you can. You buy, like I brought you, I'm sure you're already hip to this, but I brought you a bottle of Penta, which I had to have a little drink of it because I got thirsty on the way out. So,
Great.
Anyway, it's the kind of plastic that is supposed to be the best kind of plastic.
Really?
Yes.
That's what I drink is Penta.
That's what I heard. As well as it has oxygenation in it, and it's supposed to be the best kind of water.
So there are certain plastics that are okay, because now I'm freaked out about anything that's been hot. I won't drink water.
No, you should drink water.
Yeah.
But actually, the best thing to drink is tap water, and it's because.
No.
Yes.
Not in LA.
No, it's true. If you have definitely if you have a filter, but bottled water is not. There's no regulation for bottled water. So, but there's strict regulation for tap water.
Okay. Well, we should put some tips up on the website for people at home.
And we've got them on our website too. So.
All right, because people need to learn about all this stuff. Like that, I didn't know. All right, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Sheryl some more. We'll be right back. All right, so diet tips, we're going to say that you can go on the website and get more, because that's basically it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to know, and it's easy to find out because the web is just amazing now. So you can go. I've got several links, and I'll make sure you have them too.
But it really is about just keeping on, just doing regular mammograms and self-examination. But I mean, when I had to get a lumpectomy, I had just had a mammogram and they missed it, and 2 weeks later, I felt a lump and turned out to be.
I know, it's really, I was really lucky because mine looked suspect, and they said, come back in 6 months. And my OB called and said, don't wait 6 months. But for me, I think my message is, because I was so lucky that it was caught so early, that until we find a cure, early detection is the best prevention.
Yeah.
It's the only possibility at this point. And so, it's true. And the other thing is, is that obviously for women my age, you should be getting a mammogram from 35 years old on. And if there's a doctor that won't let you have one at 35, then go to another doctor. Because really, it's getting younger and younger, and knowing your family history. Those are the two things.
And you said you're going, how soon are you going
I'm
for
going
your 6th month?
October 3rd for my 6th month. See how. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But you feel great. You said you were running through
I
the
feel
whole...
great. Yeah, one of the things that they tell you about radiation is that it really saps your energy. You don't lose your hair, which is the upshot, but you are definitely lethargic. And so I allowed myself to take naps, which is something I'm not used to doing. But I did. I jogged all the way through my radiation and went and rode my horse every day and tried to keep life as normal as possible. And So, I'm still jogging.
Well, that is the important thing, is to just keep positive and healthy and happy and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's about really, I think that we can go all through the scientific aspects of disease, but I think you have to also weigh in the metaphysical aspects, and a lot of that is attitude and how does it tie into your life and how you see yourself in your life. And they're just things that we don't know, and it's too easy just to look at the scientific aspects of it.
yeah.
So,
It can be a wake-up call if you really pay attention to a lot of
Absolutely.
things. It
Yeah.
just shifts you in a different direction, and it's a harsh way to be shifted, but
know.
sometimes if you look at it, like you said, you find out who you are in the toughest
yeah,
times.
absolutely. And hopefully we learn these lessons without having to go through a diagnosis, but sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah. Well, you look great, and I'm
you.
glad you're doing well, and let us know as soon as you find out.
I'll call the show. You can put me on the air.
Okay.
I'm clear.
We do it. You can log on to our website to purchase a copy of Sheryl's CD, Wildflower.